Hi, this is Shannon with Homemade Lovely. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a stamped book stack. You will need some wooden beads of whatever sizes you'd like. You'll also need some jute or twine, letter stamps, and a stamp pad, as well as scissors. First, you're going to need to remove the outside covers and spines to deconstruct your books. Tear off any extra paper and the outside covers. And also, if you want to remove the extra pages, you can do that as well. Bend your book around to give it a little bit more of a worn look, and we're going to stamp on that piece there. Continue with the rest of the books for your stack. Remove any extra pieces that you don't want. Next, you're going to need your letter stamps and your ink pad. Decide which side you'd like to stamp on, the left or the right. Then decide which saying or words you'd like to stamp on your books. Gather the letters for those words for the first book. We're going to put Home Sweet Home on our 3 books. So the first word we need is home. Next, you're going to start on the far side with the last letter for your word, and you're going to put some ink on the stamp and then stamp it on your book on the spine that we've just deconstructed. If your ink pad is a little old like mine is, you might need to stamp it a couple of times, or maybe even wet your ink pad to make it work better. Continue moving from the right side of your letters across. Until you have your whole word stamped onto your first book. Set that book aside and move on to the next book. Because I'm doing Home Sweet Home and the top and bottom books in my stack are going to have the same word, I did them first. Again, you start at the right side of your word just to make it easier to line up with the end of the book. Continue stamping until you get all the words that you would like onto your book spines. I needed 2 E's, but obviously I just need to use that one twice. Now all 3 books are stamped. Now we're going to tie them with twine, kind of like if you're wrapping a present with ribbon or string or whatever. You cross it over underneath and then flip it back over. Loop the jute through the cross that you just made. And then tie it in a knot to secure your bundle tightly together. Next, you can trim your jute so that it's the same length. Both pieces from your wrapping are the same length. Discard the extra pieces. Use a darning needle or a knitting, not a knitting needle, but I think it's called a darning needle, to put your jute through. This will make it much easier to get it through the beads, much like we did on our tassels and our other projects recently with wooden beads. Now thread on each of the beads that you'd like to put on. I'm doing 2 large, 2 medium, and 2 small ones. Now once you have all your beads strung on, tie a knot at the end to keep them nice and close together. Slide the knot against the last wooden bead. Next, you're going to make a tassel. We've shown this before. Essentially, you just wrap the jute or string or yarn around your hand at the widest point. and then slide it off. Cut a little bit of extra length. Wrap it around about 1/3 of the way down your jute loops and then knot it in the back. Or just loop it through, however to secure it. You can see there's a large part and a smaller part. The large part will become the long part of your tassel. So cut those loops on the longer end. And then you have a little tassel made from jute. Then you just string your extra length through at the end of your beads. Use the darning needle again to feed the jute back up into the beads to secure your tassel. Take the needle off and then tie a knot. Once your knot is tied, nice and tight, then you can just trim off the excess. And now your deconstructed book stack with a wood bead tassel is finished.